We have all had to adjust our eating habits, and that includes no more restaurant meals. As a result, restaurant workers are especially hard hit. I'm joined by Mahila Kandi. And Mahila, you're a server in a local restaurant. Which restaurant is it?
It's Chat Noir.
Ah, good, one of the nicer restaurants downtown.
hmm
And how have you been affected by this?
I haven't worked since March the 14th, and I believe our restaurants officially closed the following Tuesday, when all of the other restaurants closed, basically, and I've been home since.
And how many other employees are affected the same way?
Well, Tim owns 4 restaurants, so I know that Atomica and Harper's is doing a little bit of takeout, but I don't actually know how many staff are working currently. So I want to say, like, maybe each of his restaurants has 25 people. So that times 4.
It's a lot of people. It really is. And what are some of the stories you've heard? How badly are people affected by this?
One of the first ones that really affected me was talking to a young girl, Austin, who works in a kitchen. And she was just really worried about her finances. She works 2 jobs, but was laid off from both jobs because because they were restaurants and there was no way they were staying open. So yeah, that was probably one of the scariest ones for me, because people pick up 2 jobs to make sure that they're financially secure, and all of a sudden something like this happens and you don't have a job.
It's been devastating for your restaurant and for every restaurant in the city, and especially we're just going into our tourist season, so it's I get it, especially difficult. But you've done something about that. You've set up a relief fund. Can you tell me about it?
After the World Health Organization, they announced the pandemic, I started looking at Instagram that there was a movement in Montreal that they had set up a relief fund for restaurant servers. Not just servers, I should say, restaurant workers. And I kind of wanted to do something along the same lines, but felt a little bit unsure. And then the Sunday, so March 15th, roughly, I was just sitting there, and I had so much time on my hands, and we had nothing else really going on. So I decided to just start a relief fund ourselves. So ours is loosely modeled after the Montreal one. We're not affiliated with each other, but I did ask for a little bit of guidance when we first started. Our model is different in that they give out varying amounts of money, whereas up to $150, whereas we're just trying to give out $150 to whoever applies. It's on a first come, first serve basis, and it's also like loosely based on need. They do have to prove their employment just with their pay stub. So all we're wanting to see is their name, the date of the last paycheck, and the place of work. We don't want to see any of the personal details. And then we kind of gauge a little bit as to like who needs the money a little bit more. We haven't come across this problem yet because we don't have so many applicants that we're exceeding the money that we have. But you know, if it does come down to it, because this week has been very heavy on applications since the article from the Kingstonians came out. So we might have to make some tough decisions, but if people continue to help us out and help us help other people, then we should be okay.
But doesn't the government have a plan to take care of this?
So they do. At the time that we set this up, it was more to cover just essential costs. This in no way is going to help someone out for the long run. This is $150 just to buy essentials. Like when my husband and I had to stock up on our first initial social distancing shopping trip, it was quite expensive, and you know, not everyone has the savings to cover that, you know, or like not everyone has the means to cover that. So we just wanted to make sure that if people needed to get groceries, immediate medical bills, like if this helps them out in those small ways, that's what we're doing. What EI could offer or the CERB could offer is obviously much greater, but we're also aware that I believe the number was 1.4 million people had applied for EI last month, like in March. So I understand how busy they are. And so we just wanted to do something a little bit more immediate and a little bit more local to our restaurant community.
What can people do to help with this fund? Where do they go?
So we have set up a GoFundMe page, and the GoFundMe page is on our Instagram account, which is at YGKRWRF. So basically you go into the GoFundMe page, the application details are there, the donation details are there, and you just have to use your debit or credit card to make the payment.
It sounds easy, and I hope that it helps out a lot of people who are really feeling the pinch these days. So I will let you get on with your little guy there. Thank you so much for being with us today, Mahila.
Thank you.